So I just got done watching a couple videos by the user Boundless Eyes on a recent breakup. And for those not in the know, we had a falling out a while ago. But this video isn't really meant to be an attack on her, but because it got me thinking about some things that I wanted to do a video about anyway. But what she talks about with her, how she's being treated by her ex and his friends and that kind of thing, kind of really just typifies this behavioral pattern that so many women fall into. And it's incredible because they really think that it's supposed to have some other kind of outcome, but it always ends up coming out the same. I think one of my favorite books by Bell Hooks is called Communion, and it's in her series where she did 3 books kind of about women and love and the politics of love. And there's this part in it that has always stood out to me where she talks about how females are pretty much trained in this society that they aren't worthy of love on their own. Love is something we have to earn. And because of this, when we get into relationships, particularly with men who are not trained to feel this way and who think that who they are as people should be enough, generally, to entitle them to someone loving them, when women get into relationships with men, they act out these really destructive behaviors that show men that they really, on the psychological level, are basically telling men that they aren't worthy, that you're not worthy of their love, that, you know, all the love that they give is far more important and far more worthwhile than any love you could give them. And the main way women do this is by the self-sacrifices they make and the self-negations they do to make others happy. Because we're taught that that equals love, and it doesn't. There's this interesting part of the video where Boundless Eyes talks about going out of her way to communicate with her father, who she has a very bad relationship with, to get an autograph for this man's friend, just to show that she liked this man's friend and that she wanted to be friends with him. All the while, she's not conscious of the fact that what this was indicating to that male in particular was that, and to her boyfriend as well, was that she did not care enough about herself and her own feelings about the subject matter. That was unimportant, you know. What was really important was that, you know, she be able to buy this guy's friendship, which is essentially what it was. Of course, I'm sure, you know, she wasn't thinking consciously like, oh, I'm going to, you know, make this guy really like me. I'm sure in her mind she's like, I just want to do something nice for someone. But the mechanism of what's happening is this self-negation in the process. You shouldn't ever have to negate who you are in order to make someone like you, love you. Who you are essentially is enough. And most women don't know that or feel that way about themselves. And it's actually really fucking tragic, but it is what the situation is. What else was in there? So she has this part where she talks about how he doesn't understand, her ex doesn't realize what he's missing out on and all that. And how he really doesn't even care, and so she's very upset about that, and that's understandable. But the thing is, you know, throughout the relationship, it seems what was being communicated to him was that, you know, you weren't as worthwhile as he was, and that, you know, you weren't as worthy of love as he was. You know, so, you know, why would he stick through the bad times with you or pay you back when your whole thing has been self-negation, and that's the whole relationship. It's a very parasitic relationship that most women get into. There's also a part about why don't I have any Sex in the City friends to get together with, which on the one, Sex in the City is a TV show, and very few people have like a group of friends like that they can just go to that'll always be there for them, especially women. And the reason why women don't have those kind of friendships with one another is because they consistently communicate to other women that they aren't as worthwhile as the friendships they could have with men. This is part of why I blocked Boundless Eyes years ago, because of her willingness to jump in and defend males over females, over simplistic things, and then to actually negate what I need, or to actually say that I didn't know if a guy was a sexist ass or not. Like, it was incredible, because it was like, But I knew the mechanisms of it was that what was being communicated to me was that these men are more worthy of time, energy, and friendship than me as a woman. Because this was all over, like, sexual politics anyway. So, I don't know what happens in the personal life of Jess, but it was a thing that I've come to get with certain women. Certain women just are male identified and want to have friendships with males. So, because of that, you can't really have deep, meaningful connections with other women. But it also communicates something to males in the process, because despite everything, you're still a woman, no matter how much you identify with them. And as a woman, if you don't even have enough respect for yourself to value females on the same level as you do males, and especially in terms of like relationships and friendships, they're not going to value you as well. Like, you're basically communicating to people in how you interact with them, how you want to be treated by them. If you act like a doormat, people will treat you like a doormat. If you constantly negate your own feelings, people are going to act confused when you expect them to validate your feelings. It's all very odd that women do these things with expecting different results. But I think a big part of it is the socialization piece. I know when I was first getting into relationships, I thought that, that was how you express love, these little things, selfless things. And then over time, you do all these things for someone. They're not reciprocating. It's not a reciprocal thing. The relationship becomes you take care of their emotional needs. And so when the ball drops or something, fucked up happens, you are left feeling like you're owed something and that you didn't, get what you invested in. But males are not socialized in any way the same way to look at love and relationships. They think, oh, this person is just doing this 'cause. Or, oh, this person just really likes, to self-negate. Or, I don't even know that how much of it is conscious. I try not to get too much into that. But if you're indicating that, you're willing to put aside your feelings time and time again to help them, there's no reason for them to think that you wouldn't put aside your feelings in other circumstances. And I don't know, it's all amazing to me, because this is very typical of, like, what I find so problematic about, like, liberal feminism and the tendency towards allying with males. This guy has a YouTube channel, and he did some quote-unquote male feminist videos a while ago. And, and I'm not saying this to attack her either, because he's a dick, clearly. What kind of fucking male feminist supposed male feminist, you know, allows, you know, railroads his girlfriend this way and treats her this way and, like, you know, uses her and then ditches her when times get bad. You know, it's a very clearly bad situation on his part, but it's also like, you know, he is a male, and, you know, if he gets treated like he's been accustomed to being treated throughout his life as a male, and, you know, is just given all these indications that, you know, you don't value yourself as much, you don't love yourself as much, and your love really just isn't anything compared to his, which is what those behaviors indicate. You know, he's not going to react in any different way. And very few males, even males who supposedly identify with feminism, which I think is total bullshit. Males aren't women. They don't know. They just don't know. So, you know, they can always choose to ignore or choose to do anything that benefits them. So, yeah, it was very interesting watching those videos on the surface. And it's funny watching them with my roommate, because she met Boundless Size a couple of years ago, and they had a bit of a row. So, yeah, want to know what other people in the audience think. It was a interesting video to watch, but I think this is such a common problem with why women put so much into relationships with men and get so little out of it. I mean, to be in relationships with males in this culture, it seems you have to do nothing but self-negate, and it's so not worth it. It's necrophilic, really. I mean, ugh. It's like being someone's mother. It's not worth it.